Everybody, and welcome to Week 5 of Pinto's Preview. We're going to be looking at the Youngstown State NDSU game homecoming for the Bison. But before we look at Saturday's contest, let's look back at NDSU's last game against Northern Iowa, a 33-21 win. In my opinion, more dominating than a lot of people would think. 33-21, it looks like it's a closer score than it really is. NDSU came out in the second half and just wiped Northern Iowa off the field. They were able to stop them defensively. They were able to continually move the ball offensively. Brock Jensen had some big third down conversions, and NDSU really established themselves as the best team in this conference and has taken over the Northern Iowa series, in my opinion. Now, Youngstown State, I read a paper out of that area not too long ago. Some guy writing a column, it could have been the student newspaper for how one-sided it was, saying NDSU hasn't played any tough games yet, except for the Northern Iowa game, and they said they struggled in that one. In my opinion, NDSU didn't have any struggles with the Panthers, maybe in the first half a little bit at 13-7, but to come out and do what they did in the second half against the Panthers was impressive, and I look for NDSU to continue that going into this Youngstown State game. So let's get into the 3 points for Pinto's preview. The first point I want to make is how good Brock Jensen has to be for NDSU to win this game. In my opinion, the most underrated quarterback in all of FCS. Think about it, 70% completion percentage right now. He has 8 TDs thrown to no interceptions. In fact, in his last 110 attempts, he hasn't thrown an interception. Last interception came in the second quarter of the Sam Houston State game. This guy is unbelievable, and he's making all the throws, and now he finally has a stable of wide receivers, Zach Vra, Trevor Gebhardt, Ryan Smith when he's healthy, that are able to make plays for him down the field. For him to do what he's done in a West Coast offense system, be able to hold on to the ball, move the offense, not turn it over, has been unbelievable. But he doesn't get the accolades like a Kurt Hess would or a Matt Brown would because he doesn't throw for 300 yards. He doesn't throw for 5 touchdowns a game because this NDSU offense is so balanced, and Brock Jensen does a great job of making sure it stays that way. So he needs to continue to do that, continue with that success. Just play within himself. Don't try to make a big play against Youngstown State. Give what they give you. Take what they give you and be able to do the things that are put in front of you and necessary for this team to move forward and win this game. Point 2 I'd like to make is the crowd. Now, obviously, NDSU has a great home field advantage in this game. About 19,000 strong is what I'm going to estimate the crowd size will be at. NDSU 16-2 in the last 3 years playing at the Dome. The only 2 losses were against Missouri Valley opponents. You have Western Illinois, they lost to at homecoming 2 years ago, and then last year, of course, the only loss on the road to the national championship was against Youngstown State in this building. Now, because of a quirk of the schedule, South Dakota being added to the conference, they have to come back, the Penguins do, to the Fargo Dome. And it's going to be even louder this time. NDSU, what they need to do in order to keep the crowd in the game is control the ball. Be able to get first downs. Last year against Youngstown State, 24-11, the Penguins led in that category in first downs. Time of possession was all out of whack. Youngstown was able to win the game because they were able to move the ball forward and really keep the crowd down. NDSU didn't have enough big plays, and they need to be able to come up with those big plays, big stops, turnovers, you name it. If NDSU is able to do that and the crowd stays in it for the entirety of the game, Youngstown State's going to have a lot of problems making audible calls at the line, so the crowd is extremely important. Point 3 I'd like to make actually pertains to Youngstown State. How are the Penguins going to come into the Fargo Dome and beat the national champions? How are they going to beat the number 1 team again for 2 years in a row? Well, it's simple. Just go back to last year's formula. 45 rushes, they went 20 for 24 passing, held the ball for 37 minutes, had 24 first downs to NDSU's 11. Easier said than done if you're Youngstown State. You've seen what this defense can do to quarterbacks, especially at home. Youngstown State has to make a lot of audible changes at the line, which is how their offense thrives. But Jermaine Cook is a guy that if he gets going, he's tough to stop. And that is the key for Youngstown State if they want to win this game. Hold on to the ball. You saw what Northern Iowa did last week. 3 turnovers. They were huge for NDSU momentum-wise and really helped NDSU win that game. And make sure you get first downs. Put yourself in comfortable third down situations, because if you're at 3rd and 2, it's hard for a crowd to get up for that because they realize, 3rd and 2, all they need is 2 yards to get a first down. So Youngstown State needs to play within themselves and move the ball. If they do that, they take the crowd out and they win this game. All right, prediction time, and this one's tough. Youngstown State's really good. Number 3 team in the nation. Their offense is unbelievable. But I'm a believer in this NDSU defense. and I think that they make enough plays, they make enough stops to win this game. It's not going to be easy. I think it's going to be very similar to last year's score, except NDSU is going to end up on top. The home field advantage is just too much for the Penguins to overcome. I think they'll have the ball towards the end of the game, but NDSU's defense is going to come up with a turnover or a stop of some kind, and they'll get the win, NDSU 24-20. Now, moving forward with Pinto's previews, maybe we see a production value increase. I'm in some talks right now with some people about maybe helping out with this. For now, this is how it's going to be. I'm recording off my computer, coming right into your living room, onto your laptop, onto your desktop, however you're watching. Please give me feedback. You can email me, Dan Gunderson at radiofargomoorhead.com. You can comment on my Facebook page if you're my friend on Facebook. You can comment on me on Twitter. Say I'm horrible at this. Say I need to stop. Say you don't agree with my ideas. I don't care. I want your feedback. So make sure and comment on how I'm doing with these videos. For Pinto's previews and KFGO.com, I'm Daniel Gunderson.